So, hello and welcome people back to Legend. Sheena really doesn't like that map.
She's pissed.
It's like that facial expression, right?
Yeah.
Yoo-hoo! Oh, also, dogs are the worst. Kick, and more kick. Preferably low kick. AKA the L2 and R2 kick. Because here's the thing, they can actually stun lock you into the wall pretty much infinitely.
Again, liking the soundtrack.
The prizes you find do eventually disappear, but they take a while, like you saw with that crossbow. It was just about to disappear when I was picking it up. Crossbow is not one of my favorite weapons. It can be useful for some situation, like keeping enemy on the edge of the screen, but I prefer melee stuff. And also, your character makes steps forward when they shoot these. Oh, also remember, you can do power attacks and combos with any type of weapon, including the ranged ones. Remember that for when you find a magic gauntlet, it's a rave storm.
Oh my.
Oh, also, many limbs flying. I think I forgot to mention, this game absolutely loves cutting off limbs. And it's really funny how, like, this was such a common thing back on the PlayStation 1 when the graphics were, and here we have the weapon that Sheena is actually most proficient with. I think she just does more damage with it than she would normally, and nothing else beside that.
So she's a rogue, is what you're telling me.
Well, she is Batface the Rogue.
All the world's gems shall be hers.
I mean, she is collecting gems, right?
Oh my god, we discovered it. That's the lore of this game, Nico. All these people we're fighting are actually innocent. We're just freaking killing all of them and stealing their stuff.
But yeah, what I was getting at, that arm flying off, just kind of reminded me. It's funny how they did it so much on the PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64 and Sega Saturn, and then stopped doing it when the graphics became more advanced, and like you couldn't just get away with just simply detaching a part of the model.
Right.
Because like here, it's so obvious that they're made out of pieces that are like maybe 4 polygons large.
Right.
And like the connections are just clearly visible, like on an Action Man figure, or a Barbie. But yeah, like later on it just became impossible to hide that, so they stopped doing it, or stopped doing it quite as much.
And that's one of the advantages of PlayStation 1 graphics, folks.
Yeah, it's so simple. You don't even have to try to hide it. It's kind of pointless. And Spear is actually pretty good, so long as you stick with the combo attacks and you can stab people, but the first attack in the regular combo is really slow, like really slow.
Excuse you, that is not a spear. The text called it a knife stick. Thank you.
Excuse me, the
knife stick. My bad.
The famous medieval knife sticks. I'm so sorry.
Get it right, Nico. That's all I'm asking here.
I mean, this game was made by French, but it's only in English, so I don't understand what's up with this.
Okay, that brings up something I've always wondered in whether it be RPGs or just games where you loot stuff off dead people in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a cutscene? Oh no, we're loading.
No,
Okay.
there is no cutscenes. Don't worry. That never happens.
Okay, so, like, you just got done killing a bunch of humans, presumably, and then you picked up meat. So did you chop their arm off and then cook it?
No, it was already pre-cooked, dude. They were just holding it in their pockets.
I don't know about that.
Perfectly okay.
I mean, this is Sheena we're talking about here.
She is a cow.
Yeah. She's getting revenge for her people.
Mm-hmm.
See, like, right there, you literally just turned the lizard men into meat you can eat.
But
Like...
it's a lizard man, so it's not even cannibalism now. That's some... It's not even cannibalism.
See, like, look at that! Look at that! They were all just chilling, minding their own business. And here we are friggin' hacking them up and stealing all their stuff. We are the villain in this game.
They are standing on the way to the right, and the flames are not going to disappear by themselves, and the only way to get rid of them is by their death. And they need to be sacrificed for my progress. Because that is not a thing that we can do. But yeah, another thing that I wanted to mention, the chests falling down, really random when they showed up. Well, I wouldn't say random. They're predetermined per location, per screen, so to say. However, it's like you wouldn't. There isn't just like like they will always spawn them in the middle of a location or at the very start of a location. It's just unpredictable, like here. So they will often just fall on your head. However, the enemies are also not immune to them, and they often spawn them. Like for some reason, they thought it would. Like I think for just for humor, they often spawn those things.
I feel like it is very played for laughs.
They actually spawn them on top of the along with the enemy group. So oftentimes an enemy will just get comboed by a falling chest, and the chest will just keep bouncing on their heads. It happens. It's pretty great. Oh, and at this point in time, I'm actually kind of wasting the magic because I'm not even like the max is 9 of anything, be it your lives or the magic files. So I decided to just use a spell. I could have demonstrated the eyes, but I eventually do by accident, so it's nothing lost. I also eventually demonstrate frog by accident, so you will see it in action.
We just turned that guy into a watermelon.
Yes. It's like you've got to vary your diet, you know.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's the main concern I have right now. Yeah.
The lizardmen watermelons.
So is that why watermelons are green?
Exactly.
Wow.
Then that's also why they are red on the inside.
Yeah.
What was I? Oh yeah. A lot of the times, 3D beat 'em ups have this issue of how the fuck do I face a person, right? Like for example, even something as late as Yakuza did that, right? Where there was like,
yeah,
how the fuck do I even? This game doesn't have that problem as much. So long as you let go of controls once you kill a thing, if your camera is, or not camera, if your aiming mode is set to automatic, you will automatically aim for who's closest to you, and I can't imagine playing this game without that. It's very reliable, it works very good, and well, you want everything dead regardless of the situation. So, you know, whatever it aims for, it's pretty much always win-win. There is gonna be murder. I love her dance. And then I get comboed by a freaking chest.
Of course. Why does the crossbow howl?
It doesn't howl. The crossbow werewolves do, and they're assholes because, well, they shoot you from afar. Thankfully, they're actually very slow with that. Just as pretty much most enemies are with their actions, they actually take into account that you're one person against a whole army. So they will oftentimes have like a really long and wind-up animations, and they'll telegraph their attacks. This game is still chaos though, but it's controllable chaos, and the fun comes from actually getting into control of this chaos, kind of like Tales of Eternia.
Yay! But now you have to fight 2 innocent gargoyles.
Gargoyles are like the weakest enemy in the game.
So then you're picking on weaklings, bruh. You're not helping your case here.
It's not me. It's the character of Sheena.
Sheena, you murderer.
Mm-hmm. And that is, by the way, the downswing of the axe. It's actually like a gigantic attack that will attack anything that's right in front of you. And I didn't... Here's the thing, the grab button is the same button as pickup button. So you often end up picking up an enemy instead of a weapon. It's not so bad because you can throw that enemy onto another enemy. Also, enemies do never resist you picking them up. It's kind of hilarious. Like, they will eventually be like, okay, you can't hold me anymore, but it takes them a while. And you can pick up just about anything. Here I should mention another control issue, because you may have noticed I ran past that, this is what happens when you die. You come back to life like a phoenix.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, this game has a smart system for continuing. You damage everything that's directly around you. Sadly, not everything on the screen, so the enemies can actually randomly get away from you, or like from within the range of your Phoenix resurrection. But what I was saying is, this game's running is not great. You do it by double tapping a direction, which in and of itself does not sound too bad because a lot of the games did that. However, there is a certain issue when it comes to how it connects with your actual attacks, because so long as you keep holding the direction, none of your inputs will actually work, so you have to let go of a direction in order for your character to actually attack. And oddly enough, there are even attacks that specifically use running for them to actually work. So, how do you initiate them correctly?
By fighting, according to the announcer.
Mm-hmm. Them going fight basically just means there are more enemies on the screen that you haven't beaten before, like as of yet, and the go just means you've cleared the area, go. Also, I have absolutely no idea what the fucking time counter is for even. Because it's just so lenient. It only comes out during combat. very, very, very lazily, as you can see.
Still at 51.
It's like, I just really don't know. See,
I get it. That's minutes, not seconds. So we got an hour to beat this level.
Why would anybody need an hour to beat this level? I don't actually think it's. It seems that you're right. It seems that you're actually right with that. Why would you need? Why would you need this much time? This game takes like not much more than an hour.
They're catering to the people where this might be their very first video game, you know.
And that is actually not. It's actually pretty good. Like it's a pretty good pick for a first beat 'em up in my opinion. But you absolutely have to use the manual.
Now you're even picking fights with dwarves, dude. Is there no line Sheena won't cross?
Well, he's not much of a dwarf. He's much taller than I am.
Well, I mean, Sheena is short.
Wasn't she? Oh, and you have no. No means no. Those French and their Vikings. I wonder if what they were going with this guy was a reference to Asterix and Obelix.
Maybe.
Could have been. I'm sorry for this pause.
Okay, we're back. Nico had to insert a commercial there, because, you know, he's got to get that mad YouTube revenue.
Oh, that mad YouTube revenue that I don't even use.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you can see, he easily blocks any attack that isn't a combo. And I can block most of his attacks by timing my guard, so that's good. But yeah, like, if you pick up this game, make sure it has the manual, because otherwise you will just not get anywhere. It never gets old. Should I just make it a ringtone?
Yes.
Yoo-hoo!
Just make it a text tone.
to replace my Sakura Wars 5 Somebody Loves Me.
Mine is still a message has been received.
Obtain the Metatron ore. But yeah, the Thieves are a new addition to this minigame. It actually makes it a lot more fun, because they can stop in their tracks and they can also jump very ineffectively. I don't know why they even bother to jump, because they hardly even change their hitbox that way. And now everything's back on how it was. And the next part is also going to be similar to what we saw before. There's actually, like, they're actually really generous as far as the detection on these chests go, because you could see that several of those I just like maybe scratched them very slightly with my arrow on the top, just as they were hovering right across, right above the floor, but it still counted.
Right.
So yeah, like I said before, this minigame is actually fun, and it works very well because it's like, well, since it doesn't have as much blood splatter as the regular gameplay, it actually does run at 50 frames. Yoo-hoo.
Unfortunately not.
Nah, but we do get to see the shopkeep.
Hey, welcome.
He has such expressive animation.
He does. I'm glad he does.
Oh, cool choice.
And now I can also buy the magic shield. I don't know why they let me get 2 of them. Or like why they let you get multiple of each weapon, and just before you ask, they actually refresh after each stage. So like even though the limit of buying lives is 5 lives per completing a stage, you get more the next time you like after finishing a stage you get 5 more lives to buy, but they won't stack up. So like if in the last level, if I bought only 3 lives, I would not have gotten 7 lives this time around. So just like, you know, get them while they're hot.